Uh-oh. Is the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni trial off the table? They are officially scheduled to sit down for settlement negotiations after the suggestion of Judge Lyman. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni will be meeting for potential settlement negotiations next week. We've got a lot to get into. Kelly Osbourne is swinging back at the critics. So is Andy Cohen. I've got some words about the Vanderpump Rules reboot. Lots to get into. I hope you're ready for it. Let's dive in. This is No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, serve fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's up, guys? Everybody in the club, what's going on? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. It is Thursday. Oh my God, I almost said Tuesday, and then I was going to say Wednesday. No, it is Thursday, December 11th. Hi, I hope everybody's having a great week so far. Anybody doing anything fun this weekend? I got my Christmas tree. It's the, not Belmont. What is it called? Ball something. Let me get this balsam hill. I didn't know what that was. I just saw it on Instagram and I was like, oh, those are pretty. And then I saw that they were having a sale and I was like, oh, let me get the sale. I didn't realize that was like a I don't know, but I put it up last night and it looks so pretty. Balsam 4. No, Balsam Hill is what it is. Balsam Hill. So, Justin Baldoni should demand that Blake Lively's PGA credit be removed as a bargain. We'll see. So, in a settlement, we'll get to that in just a sec. Let me talk about. I'm just talking about my tree, and I'm very excited because all the ornaments are getting here today. I'm finally putting the apartment together. Like it's looking good. Like let me enjoy my first Christmas tree moment. Shout out to our mods, Laura and Christina. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for holding it down in the chat. Do you guys like my haircut, by the way? Sorry. I woke up today needing attention and validation. So just give me lots of words of affirmation today because I love that energy. Oh, I don't have any jewelry on today. My jewels, best believe I'm still bejeweled. When I walk in the room, I can still make the whole place shimmer. I forgot. Anyway, where were we? Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni settlement negotiations. Yeah. Well, actually, okay. 2 things I want to talk about with the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Look, I said I need words of affirmation. So what does Carol do? She's like, Sky and Sully look so cute on your couch. I want validation for me, not of my dogs. The dogs always look cute. But thank you. Do you have a theme for your tree? My toddler picked snowman. I do not have a theme for my tree. No, not yet. I have to, well, the theme is my apartment. Like whatever, like the decor and the vibe of the apartment is going to be reflected in the tree. Multiple people. Oh, multiple questions about the theme. Okay. Deciding if I want to decorate with a house full of cats. Not sure it's a good idea. So what are you just going to be like a Grinch and not decorate ever because you have cats? That's not fun either. Not fun. Okay. Well, we have on, what is it, January 22nd is when Judge Lyman is going to hear oral arguments for the motion for summary judgment. So this is where the judge will ultimately determine what moves forward, what doesn't, what kind of gets, if anything. I mean, I'm predicting this will go to trial, but the judge has instructed both Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively to meet and try to come to some sort of settlement agreement, right? Like the judge is just like, listen, go try to work this out because I think the judge is even kind of annoyed. And I think the judge knows that if this moves forward, then it'll probably not go in Blake Lively's favor. So I think the judge is maybe giving, I mean, this is a standard procedure to encourage both parties in a civil suit to try and settle it before wasting the court's time with moving forward with the trial. So that is completely standard. However, it doesn't appear that either of them will be doing that because it just feels like this is a battle of the egos at this point, which I understand, right? I get it. I get why, Blake has to do this. I get why Baldoni has to do this. Like, Blake has to do it in order to salvage any sliver of her reputation left. And I think she just has a huge ego. I think she wants to embarrass the heck out of Baldoni at trial. Like, I think she wants to go scorched earth because it keeps going badly for her, that I think she thinks that this could potentially be the only thing that saves her, is just moving forward with this, And with Baldoni, obviously his entire reputation is on the line. Like, he has to fight this. Otherwise, he's toast. He's done. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this ultimately plays out. Ooh, look at that. We got an Alexis Burton says, love me some Zack Peter. Thank you, Alexis Burton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just when you really put the case together, right? I think I was watching one of Elsie's videos yesterday, and she was on Billy Bush, and I saw Andy Signor is also just on Billy Bush. I haven't watched that yet, but I did see a clip of Elsie's appearance on Billy Bush, and she reminded all of us, like, there are so many things that I keep like reminding. I keep getting I don't know, when you go through the timeline of it all, it doesn't make the most sense. So according to Elsie, which is according to the timeline of events in each of the complaints that were filed by Baldoni and the New York Times and Blake Lively, Stephanie Jones, all of them, Jennifer Abel, it appears Blake Lively only worked on the set of It Ends With Us for 16 days in total, right? Not 16 days consecutively, but throughout the duration of production. She was only there for 16 days. So how much alleged harassment could realistically have gone down? I mean, it seems like there were some complaints that were being mentioned, like she would get irritated with little things, but it just seemed like they were disputes amongst colleagues rather than, this boss that was overseen and persistently trying to, prey on her, which is the narrative that she's trying to give us. And we've seen, some of the claims that she's made, and they're weak. They're really weak. They're not strong claims at all. And she tries to make it seem like, well, this was a hostile work environment, and she's dragging everybody else in there. We've seen Claire get dragged in there. We've seen Jenny Slate get dragged in there. We've seen Alex Sachs getting dragged in, Isabella Ferrer getting dragged in. Like, everybody and their moment seem to be getting dragged into all of this. And it's not looking good for any of them. If anything, it's making them look worse as Blake Lively continues to make a mockery of this entire thing. So I don't predict that she will settle, because also when you settle, you typically don't issue an apology. You issue a statement, right? That's a really key indicator with settlement negotiations, is if you choose to settle, you can't apologize, because then you imply that you did something wrong, right? Where the point of a settlement is to say, this is a fold. We're each putting our weapons down, we're folding, and we're just going to not move this forward. We'll agree on some terms, but one of those terms will definitely not be an apology. And I just don't think Blake will ever give us an apology. I genuinely believe she will take this to the end. And when she loses, she'll say that this is the legal system that needs to be changed and reformed, because it's not helping women. It's against women's rights. And somebody called get Kim Kardashian on the phone, because the legal system is fractured and we need Kim to come and save it. Strange Sklenar didn't get deposed. I don't think Sklenar knew anything. I don't think Sklenar witnessed it. I don't think Sklenar has any information other than the information that Blake Lively gave to Sklenar. And I want to get into this, what's his name? Hassan Minaj. I really want to get into him, and we'll get into him in just a sec, but I want to finish my thoughts about the settlement negotiations. But Hassan is one of the few cast members that we're talking about. We're talking about Brandon Sklenar. We're talking about Isabella. We're talking about Jenny. We're talking about all these other people and all these other players, but we haven't talked about Hassan, who was equally, a main, well, I guess more of a supporting role in the movie, but still a pretty prominent role in the movie. But so December 15th, which I believe is next Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, December 15th is Monday. So that is when Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal teams will have to come together and see if they can reach a settlement. This is standard procedure. It's highly unlikely that they're coming out of that meeting saying that they are going to settle. I don't think Baldoni's going to want to do it. I don't think Blake's going to want to do it. I think they both have to go to trial in order to have some. At this point, none of us want a settlement. We all need this to go to trial, so we all get answers, we all get closure, and we can all move on from this. None of us want this to not go to trial. We don't want a settlement. At this point, we're moving forward. We're all on board. Just no more delays. But I understand why the judge is like, can you guys please just settle this dispute? Be done with it. So there are 2 chances that this case can completely end. That's on that's next week's meeting with the settlement negotiations, and then that's the January 22nd meeting where the judge will make a decision on he'll at least hear the arguments for the motion for summary judgment from Justin Baldoni. There's a chance that he will throw out some of the claims. There's a chance that he may throw out the case altogether. There's a chance he may say, you know what, Blake Lively, green light, let's take it all to trial. We will see what he ultimately decides. My ears cringe every time I hear both. Why? Both. Why does that make your ears cringe? We will sue Blake Lively if they get a settlement. I mean, listen, yeah, we need closure and fake Blake exposure. Yeah. I just feel like there's so much more that had to have been dug up in discovery at this point that, is either going to prove her case or it's going to completely crumble and tank her case. Blake needs to throw it out to save Blake. I don't know if that helps Blake. I mean, she could then say like, "Oh my God, the system doesn't believe in women." But I mean, listen, I think she's better off if her case gets dismissed rather than going to trial, because when trial happens, that's when it gets messy. Think about it. There's so much that I'm sure has already been turned over in discovery that we haven't had access to. All the redactions and the depositions, like all of that stuff, I'm sure has already been sifted through, and everybody knows all the skeletons. Everybody knows everybody's weak points. And now with this once it goes into trial, all of that comes out. Like the Diddy stuff. Remember, even in the Diddy trial where we heard like these big stories of he blew up the guy's car, and then we see that it was like it was like one of those little homemade, what are they called? Why is my brain not working this morning? We've all mentally suffered because of her. I mean, truly, we are exhausted. We are truly exhausted. But once the evidence comes together, once the depositions become unsealed, you can't seal everything forever. So I think best case scenario for Blake, the judge throws out her lawsuit. It seems like a win for Baldoni. She can cry that, the system is rigged against her. The judge was unfair. The judge was biased. She can make all those arguments and pout and scream. But I think if this goes to trial, and here's the other part of it, if it goes to trial, I'm sure there's going to be some bad crap about Justin that's going to come out as well. Some embarrassing stuff, some stuff that maybe doesn't make him look good, but that's just what a trial is. Look at Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. That trial was messy. Molotov cocktail. Thank you so much. That's what I was thinking of. They threw the Molotov cocktail in the car and it burned the seat, but it wasn't like a full car explosion like we were led to believe that it was in the Diddy trial. But anyway, my point being, there's a lot that comes out and it looks ugly and it looks messy and everybody looks bad, Everybody looks bad. The best case scenario is that the judge dismisses the case after the January 22nd hearing. He's like, listen, this does not need to move to trial. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of the court's time. Blake, sorry, your case is dismissed. Baldoni, sorry, it is what it is. She's never going to apologize. I think we want the trial, but you also have to remember we're not going to see the trial. We're going to have to go through, whatever the court reporters are going to share about the trial. So we'll have to see. We shall see. I hope Lyman unseals everything before the winter break. So I got a lot of juicy scoops to go over. I hope so too. I don't know if he will. I don't know how much. I mean, I don't know how much the sealing is beneficial to the judge's ruling on the motion for summary judgment, but we'll see who pays the legal fees if it gets kicked out. Well, if Blake's case gets thrown out, then Justin can then fight for his legal fees to be recuperated by Blake because the case was ultimately dismissed. That's what I believe we're seeing Blake Lively try to do with the dismissal of Baldoni's case, is trying to have him cover her, or the Wayfair parties cover her legal fees in his defamation suit that got thrown out. I wish we could just see the trial. I wish we could see the trial as well. I wish we could live stream it. I would be all about that life. He won't. He'll probably dismiss it before we get to see anything. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's highly unlikely that the judge is going to publicly unseal anything before a decision is made. And again, if he really is trying to protect Blake or whatever the case may be, I know some people think that Lyman is bought or biased or whatever. If that really is the case, then I think he's going to do everything he can to protect Blake. But we'll see. Okay, let's take a quick ad break. And then I want to get into Hassan because the Hassan, it ends with us. Like, there's something about that I was doing a little deep dive into him this morning. And I'm surprised at how much he's been able to get out of this, like, completely unscathed, which to me is just super bizarro. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys are even familiar with him. He's a comedian. And I don't know. I have feelings. I have questions about Hassan. But one thing I do not have questions about, but I do have lots of good feelings about, is Wayfair. Wayfair, they got just what I need. So you guys know the holiday season is among us. It's here. You can get what you need fast with Wayfair, from bedding, linens, decor, anything you need for some last minute guest prep. If you have family coming over, if you have your mother-in-law coming over, you can refresh your guest bedroom and hope she doesn't judge you, because you can even tailor it to maybe fit some of her style. I don't know, whatever floats your boat. But listen, Wayfair's got everything you need. Bedding, stuff for the kids' room, home decor, storage for every space, kitchen essentials, living room essentials if you want to give it a little refresh, right? They literally have everything your home needs this holiday season. They have a huge selection of home items for every style to make it easy to even find gifts for everybody on your list. Was there anything that, was there somebody that you weren't sure what to get? I know for me, I've had people ask, like family members, be like, "What do we get you for Christmas?" And I'm just like, I don't know. I like home goods, candles, things for my apartment, things that I can use in my kitchen. Barware. I love barware. I love serving dishes. Like, I love nice things that make me feel like I am an adult now. I'm in the adulting phase, and I'm glad that Wayfair not only has everything to fit different styles, but also they can fit whatever your budget fits for. Because I know this is the season that everybody's spending a lot of money. But like I said, there's something for every style, every home, no matter your space or your budget. They make it easy to tackle your home goals and your gift list. So you can buy things for your home this holiday season and buy things for people that you love, all on a budget. Fast and easy delivery, lots of must-haves. Get your last-minute hosting essential gifts and home essentials and gifts for all of your loved ones, plus a little decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Just head to wayfair.com to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com, Wayfair. Every style, every home. Go and get that Wayfair. Yeah. And also, while we're thinking top of mind, we want to be mindful of our space, but we also want to be mindful of our body, right? We want to be looking good this holiday season. And I know this time of year can really throw people off their routines. Schedules change, days get busy, and it can feel kind of hard to stay consistent. And this is exactly why having a little structure can make a big difference. It can really go a long way. Am I right? The holiday gatherings, the travel, it's easy for weight routines to slip, but a little structure can help you get back on track. I was literally just talking to someone the other day, and she was telling me that she does her best when she has a clear plan in place, especially during the holidays. Not like some strict program that you have to follow that can feel restrictive, especially when this is a season where we want to feel a little fun, but something that's simple and guided that can help her at least stay grounded when everything feels unpredictable. And that's the kind of support that people are looking for and that's why they're turning to LifeMD. Love me some LifeMD. It gives you medical weight loss care that fits into your day without overwhelming you. Everything is easy to follow and designed to work even when your routine changes. You just start with a short confidential quiz about your goals, your weight loss goals. Then you can schedule a virtual visit with the doctor. If eligible, you can get an FDA-approved GLP-1 like Wegovy. LifeMD will work with your insurance, or they can work with you for alternatives and discounts if a GLP-1 isn't covered. And then prescriptions, they can either be delivered straight to your door or picked up at your local pharmacy. You also get ongoing support, tracking tools, guidance. So everything you need, it's simple and structured to make you feel more in control this busy holiday season. And right now, LifeMD is offering a holiday and New Year's sale with 50% off their weight management program plus free shipping, which makes getting started easier and more affordable. Just visit lifemd.com/no-filter to activate the offer. That's LifeMD, LIFEMD, lifemd.com/no-filter. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid seed cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer. And then lastly, it can also be hard to stay on top of keeping the home tidy. I know for me, with everything that I'm trying to juggle during the holiday season, keeping my home tidy can very quickly fall on the back burner, especially with 2 large pups at home. I'm constantly cleaning up after them. And then that's when I discovered HomeAglow. HomeAglow is a 5-star home service platform dedicated to making your space clean and tidy. With their easy online booking capabilities, you can instantly schedule top-rated cleaners in your area for a special occasion or regularly with their Forever Clean membership. To schedule a cleaning, you can simply go to HomeAglow's website to choose the day and time that you're looking for and the duration of your cleaning to match with the cleaner. Schedule as quickly as this week or get something on the calendar for next month to check it off your to-do list early. I'm hosting some holiday shindigs at my place this season, so I think a good deep cleaning is now one less thing that I have to worry about. I'll probably do one before the party and then maybe a little spruce afterwards. Listen, take home cleaning off your plate this holiday season by using HomeAglow. Head to homeaglow.com/no-filter for your first 3 hours of cleaning for only $19. That's HomeAglow, HomeAglow.com/no-filter. Let's talk about Hassan. Let's talk about Hassan. Let's talk about Hassan. So he played, he was in It Ends With Us. He played Marshall. So he was the husband of Jenny Slate, and he also played Justin Baldoni's friend / brother-in-law because Jenny Slate played Hassan's brother. Jenny played Hassan's brother, and so Jenny played Baldoni's brother, and she was married to Hassan. So Marshall was Ryle's friend / brother-in-law. And we've seen Hassan. He's been, he did the press tour. He walked the carpet. He posted the group photo with Blake Lively at the premiere of It Ends With Us. Had a relatively prominent role in the film, right? Well, I have some questions because I was digging into him. I was like, we really haven't heard much from him. And he was the only cast member that did not immediately unfollow Justin Baldoni after the rest of the cast did following their hangout with Blake Lively. So there was a dinner in June that they all went to. They went to Carboni in New York. And it appears that that was kind of the dinner that persuaded or influenced the cast to really distance themselves or take a step back from Baldoni. That production was done for the film back in February. So, them all getting together, this seems like another all hands meeting. Hassan was there. Isabella was there. Brandon Sklenar was there. So it was just interesting that Blake decided to host this dinner with everybody. And then suddenly, as the premiere gets closer, and June, correct me if I'm wrong, live chat, June is around the time that they were finishing up the edit, or that's when they were in the editing phase, right? Wasn't that when she tried to push herself into the editing room and then there were disputes over the edit and then eventually she kind of took over the film from there? It was around then. So it appears that Blake may have, this is my own conjecture, taken them to dinner, planted some seeds, and then eventually, because remember, the cast collectively unfollowed Justin Baldoni, and that was ahead of the premiere in August. Now, Hassan was the only cast member from It Ends With Us to not unfollow Justin Baldoni at that time. So there was all the drama that came out of It Ends With Us. That's in about August of 2024. The internet starts to hate Blake Lively. Then we go from August to September and then October. That's when Hassan finally breaks his silence on the drama that went down on It Ends With Us. And he doesn't appear to have said anything negative, right? The most that he said, and this came before the lawsuit, this is in October, he started making headlines because he finally addressed it. But all he really said was that his experience on the set of It Ends With Us, like everybody was professional. He didn't witness any of these crazy things or these crazy allegations that we're now hearing about. That's just, he did not have that experience. And according to Hassan, everything was fine. I didn't know about this dinner thing. Yeah, it appears that there was this dinner. I remember seeing like clips and photos, and then I saw paparazzi photos, and I didn't realize Hassan was at that dinner until I saw the photos of Hassan with Blake Lively walking down the street at that dinner, which to me was interesting. Hold on, I have the exact date right here. Because they didn't do any press together. I think they did like a couple of like cast collective like interviews, like, you know, they do those BuzzFeed ones. Okay, so they were the dinner was June 28th. It was a dinner in NYC, Greenwich Village, Greenwich Village, and they went to Carboni for dinner. And then they took the cast photos together. Yep. So that was June 28th, which appears to be maybe they were at dinner, maybe she paid for everybody. And then, I mean, that is the theory that she poisoned the cast against Baldoni. But for whatever reason, like Sklenar seemed to distance himself, Isabella distanced, Jenny clearly didn't like him, but Hassan was the only cast member that stood by him. And so come October, he says everybody was professional in his experience on set. Didn't have any issues, didn't see any issues, okay? He's like, I don't want part of any of this drama. Then fast forward to December of 2024. December 9th is when Justin Baldoni got that award, the Voices of Solidarity Award, which was for allies that are supporting women. And I didn't realize Hassan was the one that presented Justin Baldoni with that award, and that was December 9th. So November seemed to have been a dead month for the most part. Like, we didn't get any major headlines. The public backlash on Blake Lively kind of died down because it was really only in August that there was all of this negative chatter about Blake Lively. Some of it dipped into September, but I would say come November, it started to really settle down, right? October, November starts to settle down. Interestingly enough, October is the last time I believe Blake Lively was spotted with Taylor Swift. So it's interesting because Taylor didn't have any sort of involvement in the promotion of It Ends With Us. I don't believe she even shared it or anything, even though her song was featured in it. I don't believe, did Taylor Swift promote It Ends With Us? Let's see. Because she wasn't at the premiere. Arguably, she was on tour. Yeah. ChatGPT says Taylor Swift did not publicly promote It Ends With Us as part of the official marketing, the way she might have promoted her friends' projects on social media channels or in interviews. She did not participate in press interviews or social media posts that promote the film. Her team has stated that she had no creative role on the film, did not act in it, did not help produce it, and did not even see the film until after its release. Her only connection was licensing her song My Tears Ricochet. It's interesting because she always is very, very supportive of other people's projects. This is one project she did not publicly endorse or support. So I know she was on tour, I know she was busy, but something happened because it appears by October, Blake Lively and Taylor Swift, that's the last time I believe they were seen together publicly going out to dinner. And after that, I'm wondering if whatever conversation she had with the rest of the cast back in June, if maybe that was some of the things that she was trying to influence with Taylor as well. And maybe Taylor didn't want to bite. I don't know. The Taylor piece is still so kind of up in the air for me. But anyway, sorry, to get back to Hassan. Just to recap the timeline, has dinner with Blake Lively at the end of June. It Ends With Us premieres, does some promos, does the group photo with everybody except Baldoni. Blake Lively gets ripped apart on the internet. Then we get fast forward to December, and in December 9th, that is when Hassan goes and gives Justin Baldoni the Voices of Solidarity Award. This is the award that was later rescinded because later in December is when Blake Lively dropped the CRD complaint and the New York Times published it. And that's when, or I always say dropped, but then people remind me like dropped. When you drop the lawsuit, that means you withdraw it. So I always accidentally used that term. That's when Blake Lively filed her CRD complaint, and then it immediately was published in the New York Times. And so that's when the award gets rescinded from Justin Baldoni. And it appears that this is also when Hassan pulls back his support of Justin Baldoni as well. But the interesting thing, too, is he stuck by Justin Baldoni all throughout the press tour. He didn't do any press with him, but and so much so that at this ceremony where he's getting honored this award for being a champion for women, Hassan is the one that presents Baldoni with the award, and Baldoni calls Hassan his soul brother. So it seems they did have some sort of strong bond or connection. And I also, to point out, Hassan was the only one that did not unfollow Justin Baldoni when the rest of the cast collectively unfollowed Justin Baldoni. But I looked as of this morning, and as of Thursday, December 11th, 2025, Hassan has unfollowed Justin Baldoni. So it's unclear of when that happened. Apparently, it happened, I believe, after the lawsuit came out publicly and Blake Lively lodged this legal war against Justin Baldoni. But the interesting thing is, Hassan is still following Blake Lively. He does not follow Justin Baldoni, his soul brother, but he does follow Blake Lively. He also doesn't follow Brandon, Isabella, Jenny. It doesn't appear that either of them are people that he's kept around in his life either. So it's all very confusing to me. Unclear why he unfollowed him. Let's see. Bo says maybe Hassan didn't unfollow him initially because he wanted to draw his own conclusion and something happened after he got the award. Possibly, but like he's in October, he said that, the experience on set was nothing but professional. He didn't have anything negative to say about Baldoni. It's interesting, right? But to this day, he still follows Blake Lively. That's the interesting part. So yeah. He said that he was like actually surprised by the beef between Justin and Blake that was circulating in the press. But yeah, appears to have gone to that Carboni dinner in June, which is where the cast appeared to have unfollowed him right before the premiere in August. So I don't know if it seems he was presented with some of the same information that the rest of the cast was, but wasn't so keen to immediately ice out Baldoni. And then the lawsuit dropped. And I think the lawsuit became public. And that's when it looks like Hassan may have jumped ship and flipped to the other side, or at least distanced himself from Baldoni. To be fair, if he didn't witness anything, I think this is where Brandon Sklenar really screwed up, or maybe not, because now he's getting, all these movie opportunities thanks to Blake Lively. But I think Hassan wanted to come to his own conclusion, didn't see anything with his own eyes. So if that was Blake Lively's experience, he didn't want to diminish or take away her experience from her if it truly was her experience. And so he just wanted to see it play out. And then when she brought forth all of the allegations and then the smear campaign, and she said she was very confident. She's like, we have evidence. The New York Times is like, we reviewed thousands of pages of evidence. I would love to see these thousands of pages of evidence, because if the New York Times so easily got access to them, then there should be no dispute, right? There should be no issue. But Blake Lively's out here saying, well, I can't finish my investigation into the smear campaign because, they haven't given us all the information that we need or want. When it's like, but you already said that you had all of this evidence. You had enough evidence, thousands of pages that was provided to the New York Times. That evidence was already, vetted through the New York Times. So where's that? You should have already had access to that and turned that over. I don't know. I don't know. But I just found that interesting. And I wasn't entirely sure how to feel about Hassan. I still don't know how to feel about Hassan. Do we even care about Hassan? I just want to know where he stands. We know where Jenny stands. We know where Brandon stands. We now know where Isabella apparently stands. They're all pissed. I mean, maybe Hassan is the smartest one because we aren't really talking about him. His career doesn't really seem to be affected by this. He's kind of just like chilling in the shadows and being like, I want no part of any of this drama, Has anyone speculated unsealing of Blake's text messages and emails? Has anyone speculated about? I mean, we all have speculation around what could be in the texts and the emails. I think we all want those to be unredacted at some point. We all want those to be unsealed at some point, but I don't know if anybody has speculated Are you saying speculate what may be in them? I'm pretty sure I can tell you what may not be in them, and that's allegations of harassment, at least not during the set. I don't know. We don't care about Hassan at all. That's just what he has to do. He moved on with his life. Or yeah, is at least trying to. But he was smart. He didn't make any like Jenny Slate and Brandon Sklenar both publicly supported Blake at the beginning of it. And then I feel like now they're left with egg on their face because I think now they look like total fools because they were played by Blake. I want to see Blake's deposition. I want to see Blake's deposition as well. I want to see all of their depositions. I want to read all of it. We probably never will. I believe. Did Justin unfollow Hassan? Interesting. Let's see if who Justin is still following. Let's see. I don't think he unfollowed anyone, to be honest with you. Okay, Justin Baldoni following. Oh, he's following Jennifer Abel. He's following. Okay, Hassan. Still follows Hassan. Okay. Interesting. Wow, Justin Baldoni still to this day follows Blake Lively. That is hysterical. He's still to this day, Justin Baldoni is following Blake Lively. That's crazy. He is still following Brandon Sklenar. He is still following Jenny Slate. Wow. He still follows all of them. Interesting. I guess unfollowing is just not his style. Interesting. I had no idea. Wow, Justin still follows all. Yeah, because Justin is not petty. I think he's allowed to unfollow them now. I think he genuinely unfollows them now, or has like full reason to unfollow them now. Let's see. Does Jamie Heath follow any of them? Jamie Heath. Jamie Heath is still following Blake Lively. Interesting. He does not follow Brandon Sklenar. He does follow Jenny Slate. He does not follow Hassan. He still follows Ryan Reynolds. Wow. Interesting. Now I'm curious. Why still follow Ryan Reynolds and not follow Brandon Sklenar? Why follow Jenny Slate and not follow Hassan? Interesting. Is it true that Blake Lively only worked 16 days on the movie? Yes, I just discussed that. So, I mean, come on. And even like the smear campaign, if you look at the timeline of everything, it appears that Tag PR. I mean, I guess Jennifer Abel was Baldoni's publicist before she left Jones' work, but then it seemed like when they brought on Tag, like the scope was so limited. I believe the contract was until November, but they really all seem to have worked during the promotion of the film, which was only a couple of weeks. So it's like how much the timelines just don't make sense. The amount of time that people spent working on these things, like none of it makes sense to me. Also, how crazy is it that Blake Lively was only on set for 16 days and yet she was able to push her PGA mark out? It's crazy. Aviva says he created Man Enough for a reason. He's into growth and change. Everyone could learn and grow from Justin Baldoni. I agree. Listen, I don't know if he would ever give it to me. I would love to do a sit down interview once this is all done, to do like a real 1 hour sit down interview with Baldoni, ask the important questions, and really get into it. Isaac says, what would you do if you were Hassan, Zack? I think that you would be Team Blake in another timeline. He's a fake feminist, guys. Believe me. That's a really good question. I don't know. I would have to be on that set and experience and look and see for myself, right? I don't know. That would be a really, really hard position for me to be in. I don't know if I would fall for Blake's charm, though. I'm pretty good at seeing through fake people and not buying into them and letting them show me their real colors and basing I think I would probably play it very similarly to Hassan, just try to stay under the radar with that, focus on other projects, just try to scrub my name of anything related to the movie, and I think Hassan played it the smartest, to be honest with you. I'd love for you to interview. I would love that. Listen, I don't know if that would ever happen. But I also I'm like, well, it's not like he could really do a mainstream interview. Like the mainstream press was so unfair to him, and I don't know. I'm sure they would all jump and bite at the opportunity for that, but I don't think he would. I think the coffee cake says I think my problem wouldn't be Blake, it would be her friends group, and I'd want to get to know. Interesting. So you're persuaded by celebrities. Aviva says, I like the idea, Zach, 1,000,000%. Which idea of me interviewing Justin? I would love to interview. Again, I don't know. I don't think he ever would. Um, but I also don't I think he would probably do his own Man Enough podcast sit down thing. I don't know if he would give an interview to anyone else. I doubt he would being Baha'i. Zach knows what BS and can see through the smoke and mirrors. Yeah, I'm not hooked by the shiny glimmer and, whatever. Okay, so let's move on from it ends with us. What else is going on? Kelly Osbourne is fighting back. So Kelly Osbourne has been looking quite scurry lately. Just not herself. Um, like, there was the Kelly Osbourne, when she was, like, a teenager and she was on the Osbournes and she was, on the heavier side and she was insecure about her body, and then she'd, like, Dance with the Stars and she lost some weight and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you look so great." And then, she kind of, like, really slimmed out with Ozempic, and then now recent photos of Kelly Osbourne look really, really bad. Like, she just looks so gaunt and so sick, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, she's not eating. Oh my god, she's on Ozempic. Lay off the Ozempic. She looks sick. She looks this. She looks that." And she does. Like, let's be honest. So does Sharon Osbourne. But let's be clear, they looked like this before Ozzy Osbourne passed away. But she's clapping back. Sharon Osbourne was just on Pierce Morgan Uncensored, and they addressed the feedback about Kelly and her weight loss, right? And you can see in these photos here, like her face just looks really sunken in. She looks very gaunt. I think these are the most recent photos. She's wearing very heavy clothing or very like overflowy clothing, probably to not look as skinny as she does to kind of hide the bones. But I mean, I get it. Her whole thing, she came back and she said, fuck off. My dad just died. I'm grieving. And I get that, right? Like when you're grieving, your body physically takes on a toll as well. And so I think she's going through a lot. But we cannot deny that this is also very concerning. This level of weight loss is alarming, and we can't just ignore that. Like, she doesn't look healthy. And I think we have to be able to call that out, especially now as the culture is really getting super Ozempified and people are really abusing the Ozempic and they're getting so, 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 so skinny. And I think it's getting a little crazy dangerous. And I think we just need to be more mindful of that because it's not healthy. I think Kelly looks heartbroken. I think she's going through a lot right now. I don't disagree. Same for Ariana Grande. Yeah, it kind of seems to be a trend in Hollywood right now. I was hearing about reports about Ariana, and I don't know if they're true or not, about her wanting to cancel her tour, or she's at least scaling back her tour, and how the press tour for Wicked is really taking a toll on her physically. And like, I would imagine she's like withering away. She's so skinny. Cynthia Erivo, so skinny. Like people, Madam Marble, flip it around, Wicked Witch. Even Wicked Witch is looking pretty wicked herself with her skin and bones. So it's just crazy town. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Mimir says the grief of losing her dad has caused Kelly's health to decline. She says she can't eat so sad whatever is going on with her. I agree, but also we can't just be like, "All right, let's leave her." Like, this is cause for concern. This is where I think her family should step in and be like, "Listen, we need to get you some help because this isn't healthy. It's not healthy." And my heart breaks for her. I mean, trust me, I know grief and it's not fun and it really is hard to navigate. Um in other news, maybe some more positive news, Taylor Swift just appeared on Colbert. Oh, Colbert, we love Colbert. Congrats to Colbert. He's amazing. He's the best thing ever. He's a free speech freedom fighter. Um, whatever. So Taylor was just on Colbert. Good for her and good for Colbert. And on it is where she says for the first time, she's like, she calls Travis Kelce the love of her life. I think Taylor looks great. I think I mean, she always kind of looks great lately. Like her style has really been polished. Like this is like when she was doing like the cutesy kind of girl and the hats and the cats and all of that stuff, like whatever. But like now this feels more celebrity Hollywood, regal. She's a star, right? Like she was obviously a star before. She's an incredible artist and a talented performer and a great songwriter. Um, Katie says Taylor Swift fatigue has hit me. It is kind of a lot. And I feel like do this fine. Well, she's promoting her new docuseries, which I believe debuts tonight, right? On Hulu. I want to watch it. It's 10 parts, but I'll watch it. Um, and so yeah, good for her. I mean, she seems happy. I think they're gonna go all the way to the end, whether this is fake or whether this is real, her relationship with Travis. Fake or real, I think it's going the distance, at least for the foreseeable future. She's also a very smart businesswoman, and I think she'll know when it's time to divorce him. She'll know when, the marriage is no longer good for her brand. People are still into them. People still like them. People still want to root for them to make it down the aisle. They're still the power couple of Hollywood. So I think she will keep that going as long as it's beneficial to her. And then when it's beneficial for her to write a divorce album, she's going to come out with some bangers and people are going to love it. So that's my advice to Travis Kelce is be very good to Taylor. Because if she decides to cut you, she will do what she did to Scooter Braun. She'll flip the narrative. She'll turn herself into the victim. She'll write some music about it. She'll get her fans to rally around her. She's very smart. I think very manipulative, but very smart. But she looks great. And she, according to Taylor, has found the love of her life. But I just know it's not going to end well for Travis Kelce. Hit the like button, guys. If you're watching this right now on YouTube, you're live streaming it. We live stream weekday mornings, Monday through Friday on YouTube, and then the videos go up on Spotify. The audio goes up on Apple, all other podcast platforms. So continue to like, subscribe, hit the buttons, all the nice buttons, leave the reviews, and I'll do the shout outs. Actually, let's see if we got any fun Spotify comments. Let's see if we got anything good on the Spotify. Okay, let's see. Yesterday's Rachel was talking about Vanderpump Rules, which I guess we can move on to in a sec. Rachel Swaney on Spotify says, I feel like the new cast, they're trying to recreate a lot of moments from season 1 of Vanderpump Rules 2, going to get spray tans. I think they mentioned at Sir the photo shoots will come up eventually, and it feels like setting themselves up for failure with those scenes in season 12 that don't live up to how iconic they used to be in the early seasons. Yeah, how many people are realistically going to the spray tan booths, right? Like a lot of people just use the foams that you buy at Target and you do, or they use body makeup. Like body makeup is the new thing too. I agree, Rachel. It feels very, very try hard. Debbie says, you really brought up so many great points about the transition to the new show of Vanderpump Rules. I'm glad. I'm still going to watch it because I love zoning out to reality shows and I just turned 60 and I love everything. Bravo's been there from the very beginning with every show on there. Well, good for you, Debbie. Listen, you do you. Kaylin says, I love you and Stu doing podcast episodes together. So do I. Yes. I know everybody is loving what I'm cooking up with Stu lately. Let's see. Okay, and then on the trial getting postponed, this was some of your reactions on Spotify. Colette said, I would still dislike Blake. I would dislike her an eensy teeny bit less if she dropped the lawsuit. Alicia says, this case has hijacked my favorite podcast. Please, I cannot listen to this until May. Trust me, I don't want to be talking about this until May, but this is just where we're at. This is the number one story right now. Until it's done, we're going to be talking about it. But when it comes to Vanderpump Rules and Bravo, because I saw Andy Cohen came out and he was like, oh my God, don't pay attention to those live ratings. They're not real. Like, they don't mean anything. He came out on radio, Andy, and he's like, I don't get why people are making such a big fuss about the live ratings. Because I said yesterday, and it came from Bravo ratings, that Vanderpump Rules had like a total atomic bomb of a premiere, which it did. Even if, like, let's call it out here now, right? Even if you want to say that live viewers, because what, Vanderpump Rules season 12, this premiere brought in 229,000. 229,000. That's nothing. Literally nothing. One of the worst premieres on Bravo recently. But not only that, because Andy wants to be like, well, everybody watches everything on Peacock now. Like, those views don't even matter anymore. Everybody watches everything on DVR. Like, nobody watches live TV anymore. Well, that's actually not true. Because if you look at the ratings across the board for every other show beyond Vanderpump Rules last week, which was the premiere, they all performed fine, except for Vanderpump Rules. Okay. Vanderpump Rules brought in less than 300,000. 229,000 live views is all it brought in. But when Vanderpump Rules is at its peak, it was bringing in over 2 million, which was the Scandival, right? And then the season following Scandival still was breaking a mill, still had a 1 million average for the season. 299, not 229. That was my mistake. 299 million views. So still less than 300 million. That is very, very, very low. You know how low that is? It was lower than Watch What Happens Live, guys. It got less views than Watch What Happens Live. Don't tell me that's just because everybody went to go watch it on Peacock. No, they didn't. Don't lie to us. Here's the thing. Just admit that, like, if Andy would have gone on the radio and said, listen, guys, like, I'm tired of giving them advice they're not going to listen to. If Andy had just owned it and been like, listen, guys, it's new. And I understand that it's going to take a minute to win some people over, but trust me, the show gets better. Trust me. And then behind the scenes, start to strategize the shit out of how you're going to try to get people hooked onto the show. But to go on the radio and then lie to our faces and tell us that the show was not the atomic bomb that it obviously was, you can tell it was an atomic bomb because there's virtually zero positive footprint about Vanderpump Rules on social media. Nobody, like when I was talking about Stranger Things, like everybody was going and posting their theories about Stranger Things. Next Gen actually got a lot of buzz, a lot of positive buzz when that premiered. Next Gen NYC, Special Forces. Like, there are a number of shows that are Dancing with the Stars, causing buzz online. Vanderpump Rules did nothing. Any comments that you got about them were mediocre at best, and there were very few of them. The only people, let's call this out, the only people that had nice things to say about the Vanderpump Rules reunion or premiere were the influencers that were invited to the party at SUR. And they came to take selfies with Lisa Vanderpump. Those are the only people that you're actually seeing proactively post nice things about this reboot. It's just not landing. You're not getting a ton of headlines from it. You're not getting a bunch of social engagement from it. You're not getting a bunch of reshares on social media from it. It's a flop. It's a bomb. You have to own it. At least acknowledge it, but like have faith that maybe you can hook the audience down the line. But to double down and to go on the radio and to lie in our faces is just so disrespectful to your audience and just such a bummer. Because it's so obvious. And listen, I listened to yesterday's episode because I lay it all out, how this was doomed from the start, what they could have done better, other key ways that they could have engaged the old cast with the new cast. Like, they had one of the new cast members come on Lala's podcast, and I love Lala, but I'm just like, That's not going to move the needle. Like, we're not stupid. And I think when you treat the audience like they're dumb, then like you end up losing the audience. Like, I don't want to trash this show, but when you lie in my face and tell me that my critique of what an atomic bomb that premiere was and how that's not real and that's not significant because those live numbers don't matter, I'm sorry. When you look at those live numbers compared to all the other live numbers of every other Bravo show on TV last week, it was at the bottom. The bottom. Watch What Happens Live had better ratings than that Vanderpump Rules premiere. Come on. I did not just fall out of a coconut tree. Don't make me feel like an idiot because if anything, it just enrages me more to then talk about this more to poke out the hypocrisy even more. You know? Come on. Trent Bravo says, and Peacock has the after shows, which are just as good. Great. Katie says, who has a Peacock subscription? Well, I have a Peacock subscription. Listen, people are subscribing to Peacock. I don't want to dig or diss Peacock. Like, Peacock has become, streaming in general has become where people watch these shows more. And Andy's right. Like, I don't watch live anymore, really. I don't. It's just not as interesting live anymore. And people just have lives and they're doing other things. They're scrolling on TikTok, which is why I think it's smart that like Bravo has started to release clips. Now, rather than sitting down and watching a full episode, I'll just watch the clips on social media, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, whatever. And then I kind of get the gist of what the episode was about. But yeah, I mean, it's true. Peacock is transitioning. Streaming is becoming the future. But for the sake of transparency, then why don't you guys ever release those numbers? Like, if the numbers were really strong and what Andy was saying was true and Vanderpump Rules was not an atomic bomb, then he would have very easily been able to come out and be like, listen, these are the numbers on Peacock. Like, the network could have come out and done that. They don't want us to see the numbers. I wonder why. Because probably the live viewers are a representation of the interest in that new show. Atomic Bomb. Tanya says, I have a subscription to Peacock. It's easier to watch The Housewives on that. No commercials. Yeah, I watch on YouTube TV. That's where I watch. I don't watch on, well, I mean, I guess, but I usually watch it like weeks after the fact. I don't watch it live at all anymore. Andy was right. Attention span and quality content is down. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree. I can't find Special Forces anywhere. I think it's not available in my zone. Did Jussie Smollett win or lose? He lost. Jussie Smollett did not win. Gia Giudice and Brianna Chicken Fry won. Mary says, I used to love Vanderpump Rules, but I have no interest now. Again, I laid out all the reasons why people don't have interest in this now. I laid out all the reasons why this was, a flop from the jump, from right out the gate when they announced this. Listen to yesterday's episode. I give you my full thesis on it. All right. The unfollowing of Justin Baldoni by Hassan was recent because I remember a couple of months ago that he was still following him. Well, as of this morning, Hassan no longer appears to be following Justin Baldoni, which I think says a lot. I don't know what it says, but it says something. All right, guys. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zack. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack, and sign up for No Filter All Access if you want ad-free episodes. Because I saw you said you were watching Housewives on Peacock because you don't like the ads. Well, you can get ad-free episodes of No Filter on No Filter All Access on Supercast. You can click the link down below. Follow me at Just Plain Zack. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack, and catch new episodes streaming Monday through Fridays live on YouTube and X. You can watch on Spotify. You can listen on Apple Podcasts. Hit the like button, hit the stars, hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button before you leave. Hit it right now. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. All right, guys. Mwah. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao for now. Bye.